Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the White Pew podcast. Today's episode is short and sweet and just like a really nice way to end a strange year. So today's episode is just a quick announcement of the latest recipient of the White Pew Writers Grant. So we're on to number 16 now, which is really exciting. So the 16th recipient of the White Pew Writers Grant is, drumroll, Molly Goff. So we accept submissions. People put themselves forward for the Writers Grant, and one of the emails that we got was from Molly, who sent over a few examples of her writing, but she didn't really need to because we were well familiar with her work. We've been subscribed to her mailing list for literally, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I don't know what it's been at this point. It's been a long time, and I've always really enjoyed it. The writing that she sends out is often around relationships and sex and shame and feelings of desire, and the way she writes is very succinct, very physical, fast, and I think maybe the best way to describe it is undressed. She emailed us, to put that writing forward, but also to say that maybe she's thinking of bringing those pieces of writing together into the shape of a book. And as long-time readers, that is something we would love to see. So we're really happy to support that writing. There are 2 examples of her writing on the website, but she is also about to read them out on this episode now. I'm very lucky. Thank you, Molly, for recording this. Molly, just in case you don't know, is a British writer currently living in the West Midlands. Her genre-bending prose sits on the proverbial fence between memoir writings and flash fiction. And if I didn't already say it, I can't remember, her mailing list is called Press and Release, and there is a link to subscribe to that on the Writers Grant page on our website. Okay, fab. I will hand over to Molly now. I think the first piece that she's going to read is We Go Incognito. And if you want the text version of this, it is also on our website. Okay, bye-bye.
We Go Incognito. Your walls are cloudy, my two of swords, a visible mass of condensed water vapour floating in the atmosphere. A hot rain anticipating a first kiss, a heavy downpour coaxing the inevitable sharing of a coat, a drizzle, a light palm on my back, so light it may have been an accident. Whilst I used to bookmark them and move their tab into their very own window, I would watch as I sat incognito. A trilby and a set of glasses. Before my eyes you refused all the cookies being offered. Whilst I know you not to be gluttonous, I was hoping you could succumb to the sweet treat, associating it as a pleasure for which you don't feel guilty. I should have registered the cloudy sky hung above the bed as a preface to what the night would mean to you. A wet dream slotted amongst the free porn. I pull at my chest, meeting it with my nose. I wonder if they smell it on me, see it in me, my affiliation to secrecy, that I've often been one and have often kept one, more than one. That I am a mystery to some, that it is as plain as day, that I've rarely seen the light of day as anything other than a one. The truth is me and the others like me, aren't a mystery at all, but have merely been relegated to the hushed listening of the Spotify private session far too many times, leaving us to believe that our voices bring forth a shame that felt by both artists. Like them all, I've always had cravings to be smaller, my taste for it fluctuating alongside me, collecting at my hips, swelling around each areola. At the helm of the yo-yoing tide, my kneecaps will beach at different levels of visibility throughout the year, whilst their winter coats hang loose. Clean, tidy, like the Muji storage framing his muted bedding. To be slight, compact, easy to hide, easy to slide beneath the infantile bunk beds when his 6 foot reached the landing. No curves to stop the wardrobe door from closing fully with me inside it. I wish to be angular, like a Tetris block that could navigate itself into the most unforgiving of corners. Until the block was completed, until we vanished together in a heap of falling debris, no longer participants in the game. Growing smaller, my plastic polymer lies parallel to the double spread from where they boast your compatibility. Your summer wardrobe no longer appropriate. cushions the blows. Moths swarm to the emulsion box, moths to your flame, too many to count. I'm counting on me to count myself out. You're counting on me to count myself out. It won't be until the heat rises, until your season approaches, when you slide me out from beneath you, that you'll find your seasonal cotton wholly enchewed. Then you shall come to realise that a moth without flame to feast upon will simply be left to satisfy her appetite elsewhere.
Fab. That was We Go Incognito. And then the next text is Mythical Fish.
I haven't slept with anyone since this ended. It's been years. My muscle memory abandoning me with every month that goes by, the trepidation of a virgin stuck in my throat. A part of me is embarrassed, although I can't say it's been a struggle. I found it pretty easy, necessary even. It feels like you are still in possession of it. I feel like a lent book that you never returned. Late fees piling up. Take care of those, will you? Years ago I lent an ex-boyfriend, if you could call him that, my copy of Maggie Nelson's The Argonauts before I'd even read it. Him ghosting me not long after. I can't tell if it were an assumption, a hope that one day he'd return with said book and an apology, or a fear that maybe there was something in that book that made him come to the conclusion that I wasn't for him. But whatever it was, I never purchased it. Had I sooner, maybe this book would have already been written, or maybe the timing is perfect. I've given myself to men before, and been taken by a few more. They've braced my hips, caused my spine to bend into a frown, positioning me upon their faces just the same, and yet they rarely possessed me in the way you managed. I felt their absence almost immediately, sometimes welcomed it. You ate me up at a rate I felt I couldn't match. I think you may have bitten too hard, bitten off more than you could chew, that you took a part of me with you. Not in the mythical sense, but in the physical sense. It's the only way how I feel now makes sense. Mid-fuck, you surgically removed a part of me to take with you, a souvenir of my innards. A small mucous organ with the body of a rare fish Attenborough would narrate over, with a name we've never heard of. Not the kind of organ you can't live without, but one that sometimes when missing makes life so miserable you wonder if there's any point. I imagine it wedged between your molars like a slither of spinach. I imagine that it's been lodged there for years, giving your immunity a boost, a spring in your step you've not been able to put a finger on. Now you have two of this scaled, gill-bearing organ, the mysterious little undiscovered species of the anatomy, yours and mine, two of something you never even knew you had one of. No wonder you're doing so well, baby.
Fabulous. Thank you for listening. Just a very quick note about the Writers' Grant itself, in case you're not already familiar. So the White Pube Writers' Grant is a one-off £500 grant to be given out to a different working class writer based in the UK once every month. We've set up this grant to support writers of all ages, anybody basically early in their career who will benefit from no strings attached financial support. And you can use that for whatever you want. If it's like pay rent, whatever, cool. If it's to related to writing, cool, that's fine. It's money to make your, I don't know, because we want to encourage you to write more. Anyone can apply who falls within that remit. Just please email funding@thewhitepube.com. And we would also just, as always, like to thank Creative Debuts, who are a art platform that champion emerging artists, and they're the ones that are the funders for this grant. So we literally just couldn't do it without them. And we're really excited to end the year in this way, and we'll see you in 2022. Jesus Christ. For the next year of White Pube action. So, our own texts, more Writers' Grant announcements, all that good stuff. Thank you everyone for listening this year, and we'll see you on the other side. Best wishes. Bye bye.